higher vibrations, and so are you. Happy Lionsgate Eve, everyone. A gift that we got last night, starting at midnight or so, which was 12 hours ago, was the spike in the Schumann resonance started to occur. Everyone was feeling it. A lot of people reached out, were asking what was going on. So there was something that was occurring, but we're in Lionsgate. Like officially, we've been here for a little while. The Lionsgate window starts on July 6th, with the closer that you get to the 8th, which is tomorrow for us, but it's the 8th on a lot of places in the world right now. So it's already happening. So anyway, hold on tight. It's going to be a fun conversation. Today I'm being welcomed by, or well, today I'm welcoming Guardian back, my brother. It's so good to see you. How are you doing?
Well, it's very complicated. I guess relatively okay. I think like yesterday you sent me like a summary of like all the things that are happening. I think Mercury is going retrograde. We're having solar flares, other types of stellar alignments and planetary stuff happening at the same time, and also very interesting stuff are happening on the world stage as well.
Mhm.
So shit is going down on all levels. Oh yeah, like we're going to have the Lion Gate tomorrow, which I think like we're in the energy of it already. So, but tomorrow will be peaking, and like a lot of stuff is coming up on all levels for me as well. Like I had like a very interesting day as well. So, well, a lot to talk about too. Let's see like how what kind of like insight maybe we can like bring up and like share to like assist people in navigating these energies.
Mhm.
But yeah, like we're in this together. It's not easy, but we can do it. So that's why we're here.
Exactly. Exactly. And we can feel it. Everybody knows. Even if you don't know what Lionsgate is, you feel this. This is one of the first uh, windows of time that the spiritual community is aware of, that everyone will notice first because you've been feeling it. For instance, typically when I was in my early 20s, like when I was a very depressed and there was a lot going on. I mean, this was throughout, many years after, but very much during the 20 window. This is I wasn't healing through a lot of the things that I had to heal through. And when Lionsgate would come around, it was when I would become suicidal. I'm not condoning this at all. It's a really good idea to stick around, guys, especially right now. I mean, it would be like, waiting right at, preparing for everything leading up to the moment. As soon as they start to pull the curtain, then you leave. We're here right now. But this is a window of time that can feel really uncomfortable if you don't know what it is and what's happening, or also to utilize the energies that are coming in for you. So, um, like what's a good couple of things, like a tool set that we could share, Guardian, with the audience? What would you guide someone who's struggling right now during the energies of Lionsgate? What would be the one of like the if you had to pick like the top couple of things, what would they be?
Yeah, like go out to nature as much as you can. It's really super helpful. Do that, and yeah, like there's types of transmutational tools like the violet flame. We did last week a group meditation with the community with the violet flame. Also had some explanation on how it works as well, so we can go into that also briefly. But yeah, like I wanted to touch upon the subject of like wanting to like check out of planet Earth and like not wanting to be here. I think like this is like a very common theme for most of us. Like we all had that period during our lives when we didn't want to be here, and I guess like each person maybe they just played with it, or like maybe some people like pushed it a bit further, maybe even try to act on it or something. But I think like that's like pretty much like a common thing for all of us, that we don't belong here. I don't enjoy my life. I don't enjoy the environment where I live in. And yeah, I just want to go home. Like I don't want to be here. And I think like most of us, I bet, have struggled with this, or maybe it's like coming back from time to time, depending on like where you are in your journey.
Right. Yeah. Um, Do you have something more to share? Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I don't know. I just had to clear my throat. But
I'm
yeah, like,
famous
can you
for
maybe
cutting.
elaborate on that or like share something like how we could
I would
like
love
assist
to.
people with it?
I'm famous for cutting you off, and then I was telling you I was famous for cutting you off by cutting you off.
Yeah,
So I've tried
cut
to work
myself off.
turning a new leaf. I've definitely for a lot of I was a trafficked child. I had just like anyone else, I had a lot of abuse and things that needed to be healed through that I wasn't looking at anymore. I was healing through it as much as I needed to cope through, and then I wasn't anymore. um, and what occurred at that time for me was that I began to spiral down a lot of difficult energies, and yeah, I did attempt suicide a few times, and it's really good that I wasn't able to. It didn't work. I wasn't meant to go. um, this is and I would say every time I bring it up, everybody, there's multiple people that are around me or in the audience or something that are like, whoa, me too, and I don't know why we keep it a secret exactly. It seems like people don't talk about it, like and it's good to talk about everything. If you have it within you, it's meant to be shared out. You know, and so as we share this stuff out, what did I do to make it better? Is that what your question was, or like how did I get through it, or um,
Yeah, that as well, maybe. Yeah. Oh, by
I
the way, like if we like want to go into that further, I also had some few
please.
near-death experiences too. So it's been rough growing up here on planet Earth.
Yeah, what was your experience, Guardian?
My experience, yeah, like I had like meningitis when I was like 5 or 4 or something, and all of a sudden I just got better, but I was very sick, and I know like everyone was very upset around me. I didn't understand like what was happening at the time, of course, but later on I understood like how serious or dangerous that could be. But for some reason, I just recovered in a few days. I'm not sure what happened. And yeah, like I also almost drowned when I was like 14 or so, and then I didn't.
Right.
So yeah, like I needed to stick around. And I'm not sure. I think like I really realized that in my early 20s, but that's like during that near drowning experience, like that's when I understood like, hey, like maybe I'm here for a reason, or someone is protecting me. Otherwise, I would have checked out by now because I had plenty of opportunities to do that. But yeah, like and also I had like a very depressing teenage years. I was like a weird kid, which is even more difficult when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't want to be there. I didn't enjoy or like my body or my environment. I didn't like anything. So I was not into planet Earth, and that kind of changed in my early 20s. Then I had my spiritual awakening, which like really shifted everything like dramatically and drastically at the same time. And I think like that was like the big saving grace that I was like, okay, like life is not heading in a great way, in a great direction for me. I'm not enjoying it. But I saw this awakening as an opportunity to like rearrange and reinvent myself basically into something that I would actually prefer to be. And it's still happening. So
Right.
it's still ongoing.
I had almost an identical experience. I mean, I blended in. I don't blended in is not the right word, but it felt like that's what people try to do when they're in high school. I was one of those people that just was part of every group. So I was the one that beat up bullies that were bullying other people. Like no one really, if they ever tried to bully me, I guess they probably tried to. I just don't care. Like it doesn't. I'm that person that just like other people's opinions just don't actually matter. Like, why are you telling me you're mad at me? Oh, you expect me to care. Like, I you can't make somebody happy or mad. Why are you telling me this? but
Yeah.
I definitely, am affected by other people's stuff, when I feel like that they're not on, like I've hurt them in some way or whatever. I've spent probably I've spent more of my life in incarnation, depressed and just not wanting to be here. I remember begging for hours and hours and hours, night after night, just let me die, just let me die, like willing my heart to stop, like because poison didn't work apparently. Those other different attempts didn't work for me. And it was because I wasn't supposed to go. I actually remember an earlier time when I was 4 and I had my first near-death experience when they said that if I came back, I couldn't die early. At the time, it didn't matter. I was like, good, okay, whatever, let's go. Like I wasn't even. And then, as a teen, 20s, 30s, I spent my time like cursing myself for making that choice. Like, no, I don't. I want to be able to leave. I want, like Janet said, like you said, that I just want to go home. I want to feel like I'm at home. And we know what home feels like. Home feels, you know, you don't have to do all this other crap. You don't have to. And I went on like that for the vast majority of my life. What changed was that I I decided I needed to break all the way down so I could put myself back together again, is what really changed. You know,
Yeah.
be holding on to the threads for so long. What was your experience with that?
Oh, with breaking down
Yeah.
and reconstruction, yeah. For me, it happened relatively in a short amount of time. So, and it was also very drastic. I'm a very drastic person, especially if it comes to self-development.
Yes, you are. Very much. I can see
Yeah.
it's true. Anyone who's
So
listening, that's true.
yeah, like I don't spare myself or so. Yeah, like basically, I think like 21 or so, or 22, and yeah, like I just tried to find my new self. Like I moved into another city, and I tried to find my new self. I was also in college, got a good job and stuff like that, and trying to like rearrange myself and find like a new identity for myself that and was like very much into like materialistic stuff because like that's what I've seen from other people, and that's what society tells you it's good, and you should strive to achieve in those things as much as you can. And yeah, and yeah, but it didn't really work. So I became more distant and also disconnected, very cold, and yeah, like it was not a good experience. But I didn't understand why until the moment that I became sick. So I had some kind of heart condition in my early 20s, and yeah, I went to like I think like two specialists, cardiologists, and they just didn't like what was wrong with me because physically I was okay, but still like I couldn't like go to the second floor to like without stopping to take a breath because I my heart was just jumping out. So obviously something was wrong, and and the doctors didn't know what. And yeah, like after that, I think yeah, like it was 2012, and all the media was full of oh, it's the end of the world.
Right.
And yeah, it's the end of the Mayan calendar. And I was like playing with the idea, and this was in February. I was playing with the idea that, hey, like maybe if this, I don't know, like the world would end at the end of this year, like would I be like happy with myself, like where I am or where I'm heading or what I've done so far with my life? And I just like had this huge realization, like, holy shit, like I've been living a lie, like I was striving to do bad stuff with my life with myself, and I was like, holy shit, like I was in very wrong, bad direction. So, and then at the same moment, like this huge flow of like just love just like came over me, like through my body and around me, like surrounded me, and it was just absolutely overwhelming. So I started crying like crazy. And yeah, like that started kicked off my spiritual journey. And after that, I think like I searched for like spiritual awakening on YouTube, and like it was so amazing to see like other people recounting their experience. of very something very similar that I experienced. It's like huge rush of like love and like energy just flowing through them, almost like this energy of forgiveness or something like that. Like finally you have realized like I forgive you, I love you, and like here is everything that you need in order to like make it to the next step or something similar. But yeah, like it was a very transformative experience.
Love is so powerful. The energy of love, connecting to each other through these platforms and over the airwaves, we can connect to that. It's such a beautiful thing, and I feel the same way. Like that was seeing, finding hope. Yeah. Finding hope for the first time, like finding, um are we good? I don't
Okay.
know. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at multitasking. I'm sorry.
All right. You're not Napoleon.
I especially when it comes to words, when I'm trying to multitask on words, it's like conversations and stuff. I'm not. I'm good about. I think because I'm grabbing comments too at the same time over here. Um, but like the reason I brought this topic up, the reason this even came up at all, is like when Lionsgate's come around in the years before I found the spiritual community, before I understood what it was, I would be very suicidal, and that's typically where I would have an attempt on my life. I had done that. That was something that had happened in my earlier years, and though I failed every time, and I'm grateful for it. Um, I was, I couldn't understand why it was this time of year for the longest time until I found Lionsgate, and I discovered what it is. Then it doesn't have to feel like that anymore because we know what it is. What Lionsgate is that the Syrian sun lines up with our sun. And then all of the energy that comes from our sun is amplified by at least 10. Now think about what's happening on our sun right now without the Syrian sun helping boost everything up on steroids, you know? And all of that energy, we feel it when the solar flares are happening. We feel it when the Schumann resonance is spiking. We feel these energies. We're also feeling the everything that's going on the world stage right now, in um, politics. There's all of this polytricks. That's what I heard the other day. I heard polytricks, and I was like, yes, and instead of banker, it's bankster. Like, yeah, I really totally get that, because like gangster, bankster, but all of this stuff's going on in the outside world around us, and so we're feeling this fuzzy, icky energy on the outside, while it's amplifying, and so it was you when all of the things that is needed for us to heal are present, then all of the things that need to be healed pop up. They come up. And they say, pick me, pick me. So if you're feeling this, that's why I wanted to talk about this. If you're feeling this, you're not alone, and it's okay. There's a reason for it, and it's temporary. This experience, this unhappy experience we're having right now, if you are, it's a temporary thing. It's actually a beautiful thing now. As these energies are coming in for me at this point, now that I understand what it is and that I'm aware of it, I'm actually really enjoying it, and as a spectator, and so like I just kind of wanted to make sure anyone out there, if you feel this way, to just stick around, just hang out, just for a little longer, because you're going to start to get the gifts and the awesome parts of it, and this is a powerful time to do healing, to do that transmutation meditation that guardians always connected with, the energies that uh, are, what is his name right now? Saint Germain. There we go.
Saint Germain. Yeah.
The connection that guardian brought through for me, I actually never connected with Saint Germain before, and then started to work with guardian, and all of a sudden Saint Germain started coming through, like left and right, and it was like always right after talking to guardian too, and
Wow.
you're like the violet flame guy, you know? So how does this work, by the way? How does the violet flame work?
Oh, okay, I will like go into that as well. And like regarding the shifting energies and the sun bombarding us, like I've seen that. I think it's Thank You, the one with the rainbows and clouds. Like yeah, like you said, like you only slept like 5 hours, and like and also seen like other people also saying that they barely slept or have problems sleeping. Like I also had like a very crappy night's sleep yesterday.
Mm.
Weird dreams, like waking up feeling a bit agitated and like just weird stuff happening during the night. And also during the day, like I think it was like around 2 p.m. Athens or Eastern Europe, and I just like had to like go to bed. Like I couldn't stand, I couldn't like sit. I was like, oh my god, like I have to go to bed, like I have to sleep or something. I just I couldn't sit. I don't know. I guess it's the sun. I'm not sure, but yeah, I guess it's the sun. But yeah, like let's go back to the violet flame. Okay, so regarding the violet flame, like we did, I yeah, we can go thoroughly into it now as well. But basically, it's a transmutational force. It's a higher vibrational energy, like that has its own awareness, its own consciousness. So I'm not sure how other people do it, but the way we do it or I do it is that I like call it forth from my heart center and expand it from there, basically. And you can't go wrong with your heart center. So
Right.
work with it as much as you can, even if it may seem difficult at times, because like there's different types of layers of debris and trauma and nasty stuff that can like deposit around it, which I guess all of us have because we lived on planet Earth. So that can happen, but the violet flame can really help you with transmuting and like busting through those heavy walls that are like blocking you from accessing your heart center. And it's a great transmutational force. Like as I said, it has like its own awareness, so like you cannot go wrong with it or like do I don't know like hurt yourself or someone else with it. Uh, so if you like want to do something that is like out of alignment with it, it would just like simply stop or disappear, or maybe you will no longer gain access to it for some time.
Right.
So you can like reflect on what you wanted to do. So that can happen too. And yeah, like basically call on it, call it for from the center of your heart, and try to like visualize and feel it, how it like flows through your entire body, how it's like expanding from your heart, and also amplify it with your breathing. Like that really helps as well. And just like be completely like immersed in the violet flame, have it like burn inside of you, around you as well, burning in each cell and part of your being, and ask the violet flame to transmute all density, fear, doubt, like all sickness, like toxicity, and like everything that is like out of alignment with your higher purpose or your higher self, and to put back everything into alignment. Heal your body on all levels. Also heal your it can heal you emotionally on a soul level, physically as well. And what is like awesome about such types of healings is that it doesn't just work with the physical body. So like it heals you on all levels. Because like that's baby Yoda.
I need to be
Cheers.
dictative. Cheers.
Yeah, I like it heals you on all levels, and like that's real healing because like I know like in Western culture we're like, hey, like if you something's wrong with you, we're just like fix up your body or do something there, and they kind of not always, but most of the time the fact is ignored that hey, like that I don't know, like maybe you have cancer or some kind of physical problem is like the side effect of you struggling with something in your life maybe, and like they don't address that usually. And like many times, like if you go in deep and like dig deep to the root of the problem and you fix it, then usually the physical symptoms will go away very quickly
Right.
because your body is like, okay, you're done, moving on.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, like you can use your body. I think like you also said many times that you can use your body like reflection or like a tool, because your body's always constantly communicating with you. Like if there is a problem somewhere in your body that usually relates to is, I don't know, like a specific aspect of your life or your emotional body. I'm not very good at that. But yeah,
Yeah.
like depending on like where is the problem in your body, that usually tells you something very direct, that hey, like maybe you have some relationship problems, or you have some emotional blockages, or you're struggling with something and your body says like, hey, like you have to look at it because it's going to be worse if you don't address it.
Right. That's right. And this is also the study that Dolores Cannon brings through, and she's not the first one. She's just the one that shows that this happens. Sometimes we carry this from other lifetimes. Sometimes we're carrying a need to heal an emotional body from a previous incarnation, where uh, Eastern medicine is a way that's documented and kept this available to us. If you're curious, just simply go into any internet search engine, and typing in what emotion is related to, and then fill in like what organ or what area of your body is struggling, and you'll find that there's actually a name for it, and there's a whole, and it's really fascinating and useful, because then you can understand the underlying thing in an intellectual way as well. This is part of the more of a self-therapy kind of healing, of self-observation and seeing it. And when we use things like the violet flame for me was like one of the first things in my tool set, like that of what to do to help ourselves. Well, I've also used this violet flame where I've sent it across, the road to somebody that's bothering me or causing, it's a gift too. It's not, like I'm throwing something at someone kind of a thing. But just like Guardian has said before, there's been times where I've done that, where I've been not looking forward to a social engagement, and then sending violet flame energy ahead of time to kind of like balance everything out for myself. Then everyone involved canceled, and I didn't have to go. So whatever's meant to do, just like Guardian said, you can't hurt anybody with this. Like that's one of the things that makes it so like Fisher Price worthy kind of feeling, that kid training tool thing, is that you can't ruin, there's nothing that you can do that's wrong about this. So that's one of the awesome things that we can do. Like there's another one here, Sandra Brown. I'm going to read her comment really quickly, Guardian. Maybe we can address this together. Why is all releasing done in my dreams at night? They are so upsetting. And just my quick 2 cents, and I'll send it over to Guardian, is that, I find that we'll release and do stuff while we're in our dream space when we don't know to do it, or are refusing to do it in our waking time. And perhaps there's more that can assist us and support us that we don't know how to access while we're awake, while we're in our conscious state, and it's definitely hearkening and showing that we need to release it, and we have not done it in any other realm. So what do you think, Guardian, is like the most useful thing about being able to do this at night and while you're sleeping instead of while you're awake?
Yeah, like just kind of the same thing that you said, that our subconscious is our subconscious, and like we are not aware of everything what is happening there. And like when we release control, when we go to sleep, like things are much more allowed to come to the surface that normally would not be. And also like weird stuff can happen during the night, because like in my experience, and I also heard from other people, like when we have these astral experiences, like we can test ourselves and like learn new things in these astral realms, which are not as hard, and I don't like how to phrase it. Like they are not as dense and relatively consequence free in certain levels. Like you can like act out certain emotions or certain like hidden, I don't like I wouldn't say like passions, but like some hidden stuff, or like act out something that you would not dare to do in your day to day life,
Right.
and like test out like, hey, like how would that play out, or how does that make me feel? Like, is this okay with me, or maybe this is something I should work on? Like many times, it can like bring up stuff that is like unconscious, and it can show you that, hey, like you still need to work on this, or you're having issue in certain situations with a specific part of yourself. Or I'm not sure if the other one is. Wait one second. Like, how was that? Wait a sec. So yeah, like basically, yeah, like you can act out stuff in a relatively consequence-free zone or something. I don't know, something similar to, I think it's called that Marvel movie, like Doctor Strange.
I
I know,
love
like
that movie.
yeah, like they learn stuff in the mirror realm or something like that. Like
Yes.
most of the experiences that we have during the night, not all, but most of them are happening in these like
Yeah.
virtual reality type of
They're like practice
fields.
chambers.
Yeah, like almost like chambers where like learn stuff and basically test yourself out. And in my case, I observed that these are really great times to like reflect on like what you
Mhm.
need to work on. And I found that if I realize that and like bring it with me in my waking hours, and I actually do like work on that specific issue and like recalibrate myself, then things will behave differently in the astral realm because I have fixed myself here, basically.
Yeah. And then you're just released and relieved. You have this, my body and my emotions and my physical, everything can finally sigh and relief. Like that's how I get it. Is it's a beautiful place. I agree. I love that. It's just like the mirror realm, and it's that chamber, practice chamber, where it's. I think there's also an example of this in the Avatar series, isn't there? Like there's a place to practice where you don't. Anyway,
Mhm. I'm not
there's
sure.
always yeah. Um, and because there's so many, they're readily accessible to. So hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Readily accessible to support us, the guides, the guardian, the everybody that are already there in waking. We just don't really know how to connect with them so clearly. Like you were saying, guardian, your the masters are there, right, to help us out. And there's I'm glad that you brought this up, Sandra, because a lot of people have been having a lot of different kind of dreams lately, so that and a lot of often too, what dreams are doing is they're showing you why you're being given the gift, and then all of a sudden you find that you have new things that you can do, after. So there's a lot of things that we can do on Lionsgate, but Donna, it's good to see you, sweetie. It, Guardian here in particular is doing something on Lionsgate for it to assist us. And so you want to talk about what you're going to do tomorrow?
Oh yeah,
Maybe?
I'm not sure if it's like necessarily for the assistance of the collective, but we're going to have like I don't know, like semi-public channeling session on Zoom tomorrow. I already posted it in the community section of my channel. There is a link, like you can access the Zoom meeting through the link. It will not be recorded or aired anywhere. So you can speak or show yourself if you want to. And in the channeling state, I will go into a deeper state of trance and I will bring through my guides and you can ask them questions. And it is highly advised if you're attending that you like ask the questions yourself. But if you don't want to show yourself or let your voice be heard, then you can write in the questions and higher vibrations or Pamela will read it to you.
That's right.
She will be the moderator for tomorrow's event.
Yeah, I'll be present there too. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then a few hours after, so that starts at 12 p.m. my time. So 36 minutes ago, the same time we start this, it's free. It's available for all to join if they'd like. And then 6.5 hours later, I'm doing a group meditation, and that's also free. So I've put those links up in the Telegram group. But what can we do? You want to answer this more clear, more broadly for what we can do for the all, and then I'll pick up, or do you want me to answer first?
Okay. Well, we did violet flame meditation last week, and my original intent for that meditation was like a general healing for each individual and extending it maybe to someone that you feel that would benefit from it. But it ended up being like a type of collect for transmutation for the entire collective, basically. So maybe you could like revisit that and like do it with everyone else. Like it was very cool because like we enveloped the entire world with violet flame, like circulating around and also within the planet as well, like transmuting all density, like fear, doubt, like all the crap that it's in the collective, like lightening up everything so people can receive a much more, I don't know, like a deeper and more pure heart activation. Also, I think like during the last phases, we saw that like the heart center of each individual like lighting up across the world and everyone being activated by the beautiful energies that are coming into the world right now. But yeah, like there's a lot of gunk and distortion that can be in the way of that. So we are here to ask to anchor some good vibes and energies, so making it easier for the rest of the population, basically.
Right. And you can definitely feel it too. Like the energy is so awesome and assistive that there's a lot of pushback. Like you said about the like the world stage. There's a lot of noise, busyness going on.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I do. That's always what I've guided people to do is to jump into a meditation that's been done with a group, especially, but it doesn't matter. It's I mean it's I would say that if it's a group meditation, there's an intention that it will be a timeless thing. So there's like all these layers of others that are connected with that meditation. So you're doing this on a global scale. Um, and give yourself um, also the love and gentle kindness that you give anyone else, that day. So, perhaps if you don't have to rush extra fast and hard, then don't. Allow yourself to pull your foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, and just be in the moments. Just be, and things like what Guardian and I are offering for tomorrow are for, assisting to the individuals so they can assist the others, as so we can in the global scale. You know, Guardian's group that he channels too, his guides are this amazing higher frequency. They're like a collective named the Tehute. Is that right, Guardian?
yeah,
Is
yeah, like they are a higher aspect of me and Sirius. So
that's
we are
cool.
communicating through the star for through our own local star and the Sirius Sun connection, basically. So they are hanging out home, and we're also hanging out in home, and we're just like communicating through the stars.
That's so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Like I also wanted to share regarding the not the transmutation, but the meditation for maybe tomorrow. Like depending on what you're guided to do, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like for the collective. Like if you're guided to like to work on your own stuff, because like that's very heavy right now or very pressing, then like do that. And also like before you do so any type of collective or planetary healing or realignment, like first purify yourself, like heal yourself, put everything back in place. So you're the clearest and aligned person that you can ever be. And like only after that, proceed and do something for the collective.
right.
And also thank you for the comment for my new haircut. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Diamond heart, yes.
There she is. Nice haircut, looking svelte. That's
Super
awesome.
elegant.
I don't remember what the word translates to exactly, but like that. Good job. I agree, and if it's the idea that you can't drink from an empty cup, you can't also feed from an empty cup. you know and then that there's the cup that's too full with a different type of thing. Like you can't, you won't be able to fully and enjoy the flavor and know what it tastes like to drink tea if you haven't dumped out the coffee first, is the concept that we're doing here. So we're dumping out like the parts that aren't us and that are not assisting us. We're not dumping, I guess is probably not the right word, but um, and releasing that out. There's a lot happening planetarily. I mean, yeah, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, guys. We have uh, a bunch of different stuff going on tomorrow, or right now too, as well as tomorrow. Every day this month except for on Tuesdays. That's the weirdest thing. Tuesday's the only thing that my astrological calendar doesn't. I haven't added anything to Tuesdays. That we're going to be feeling a lot of stuff, and so um, also um, connecting with whatever is most awesome for your body. So, for instance, a lot of us are noticing that our appetites are suddenly disappearing again. That usually occurs right before some type of ceremony in a spiritual way. I've noticed that my body just guides me into a fasting period, where I'm drinking, juice perhaps, but mostly water. And then all of a sudden I'll get my appetite back. So we're doing that again right now too, leading into what's going to happen in the next, what's happening right now. And like was already mentioned by Donna, it's the 8 year to this year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. So it's the 888 portal. It's even bigger energy. Should we grab some more questions? Would you like to add more to that point?
To which one?
Just what we were talking about, like what else what would you do to assist yourself during Lionsgate to make it more comfortable?
I'm going to sit down and spend some time with myself because usually we have some very busy day. Like my scheduled, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go to bed at usually 10 p.m. and I don't really sit down to chill during that period. So I'm going to set aside at least half an hour for myself tomorrow.
At least have
Especially
it.
at least half an hour for myself. I'm going to be very gracious because like also my wife, so I will be alone at home. So that's super. That's always great time to transform. I also had the near-death experience while I was alone for 3 days. I'm so grateful that no one was home. And I could just like fully surrender to the entire experience and come back. Like there was no one knocking on the door. Hey, like dinner is ready.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. How do you give yourself that time? Like, what do you prepare? Like, do you turn off your phone and stuff like that, or you just kind of
Oh
just
yeah. Like try to like keep everything outside of my reach, or I really, if I like go into like a deeper state of meditation, or even when I'm channeling, like every little noise and like something, even like the smallest distraction is like so amplified, and it's like so annoying. And I try to like clean the room of everything, and that could be disruptive. So it doesn't always work, but it's really helpful. So like you can like only focus on your inner world, basically.
yeah. I always like to turn off um my Wi-Fi router too. Like just to make everything be quiet. These are all like a lot of really important things to think, even consider when we're going to sleep at night. And that's why we're supposed to talk about this, is that a lot of people still have all this disruption. Many people have their computer router or tower, whatever it's called, right next to their beds. They're near their head, and also the phone. A lot of people have to leave their phone on because they use it as an alarm clock. You can hit the airplane mode and it does it. The fuzzy energy that's coming off of it diminishes just a little bit at least, and this will assist you in your sleep space. Anything that you can, from the outside turn off, it will assist us, as well as light. Like we don't realize how much of these little different, electronics in the room, like this, when it's turned off, still has a glow, a little dot, like things like I have like the black tape, the electrician's tape on all these little lights because they will affect us. They'll
Hate the blue lights, those very potent LED lights. It's almost like eye piercing.
yeah.
I really don't like it.
And turning these things off make it so we can focus and be in our energy a lot easier. You know, um, there's a question. Should we go to it?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay. Rose Matter says, I have a question about being an anchor. Is it just about holding a frequency for the collective?
I mean, in general, I think yes. Like, I think we do that all the time. Even if you're like not focused on it, just our mere presence is anchoring on Earth a specific energy. And that's like very true for everyone. Like, everyone is holding space for something. May that be light or not so light in some cases.
Right.
And yeah, like that's why the world is shifting or has shifted so much because more light beings chose to incarnate. And by that, we have shifted the collective energy of the entire world because light beings incarnate on Earth like wasn't like in surplus, and it like shifted the balance basically.
Right.
And I think like more and more high vibrational souls will come in, especially like the kids. Like, I think like they will be way more advanced than we are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We will be like outdated as dinosaurs when they grow up.
Yeah, obsolete. I heard that word before talking to the guides. That's we are becoming obsolete on purpose. Like how I feel is that the parents of the now age, the with the younger children, they're just doing stuff that's helping people while they're waiting for the real masters to get old enough to do their stuff. You know, like the real masters are in there in the working. They're here. A lot of them are coming still. It's just that, you know, there's an in between place. And as an anchor for that, we are being available as the parent for the, like you said, it just in this other side of it. It's just we're like the present spot that the children can come in and be brought up in a non uh, in a more fluid way where they're able to be themselves, and not have to conform as much, and then therefore can start doing their stuff earlier. Uh, though the being an anchor for the collective, I always think of whale because that's what whale's job has been. Is the swimming library, the one that anchors the knowledge here, and those of us, what we're doing is these star seeds that come in, or we're anchoring, is it's like we're making a place where the light can then move through the collective by being physically present here. And there has to be so many. What's really interesting too is then I later on looked up or discovered this was true because what we do, and I get to talk to so many people all over the planet. But pulling back, what you'll see is that now there's a little bit of smaller clumps getting closer together, but usually, or up until recently, it's been spots of light. Like Guardian talked about the hearts glowing. Everyone does glow. And there's spots of light perfectly distributed across the planet in a balanced way. So there was loneliness. There was separation from each other. But we were anchoring there, bringing in this extra stuff that's needed for the collective. And so it's really cool. Yeah, so it's just holding the frequency. It's just being open, having an open and receiving heart is the words I always get. If you declare this intention, you start doing it.
Yeah, like there are types of activities like grid work or meditations that you can do to like assist the process of anchoring more light. And I guess like in those cases, like you amplify what you already do on a basic level. But yeah, like but just you trying to anchor and embody as much of your higher self as you can and like live from that perspective is like why we're really here to like do it like each day and all day long.
Yeah. And not giving up on it, like it's really cool. It's really pretty. The way that everything works, it ripples out, it touches, it takes 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. It takes 90 minutes for the ripples of love that we send out to echo back to us. However that's done, but going to the edges of the cosmos and back. And um with when in this state, if we're able to continue to maintain this open, receiving, loving heart for that full 90 minutes, when it comes back to us, then we can receive that same but it's amplified. That same amount of love can come into us. So we're also doing a service to ourselves, for ourselves. Like it's really cool how it's all everything. So if a person's not able to join to do like a group meditation like I'm doing, or other people, a lot of tomorrow's Lionsgate, man, you'll get on YouTube and you'll be like, wow, I got 1,000 notifications. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening tomorrow. So it doesn't have to be ours. But if you aren't able to come to Guardians, channeling thing, this is really cool, by the way, because these Syrian guides are so cool.
It's not going to be recorded, so it's going to be all in the moment.
Exactly. And so, and I know that some people have commented that they struggle sometimes to get onto the Zoom meeting. It's a new Zoom just made it simpler. So you'll see that the join code or the join link in my community section here on the YouTube channel. Guardian has it on his YouTube channel. It's also in the Telegram group that I have. That's in the description of this video. And I also have posted it on Facebook. And so you can just click it. The trick is that if you don't have the Zoom app, so you want to have Zoom available on the device that you're using, sometimes you have to download it ahead of time, which is simple enough. Just go into your app store, whatever it is for your phone, or on the computer, just typing in Zoom. And then it'll bring up and it'll say, here's the thing. And it's just like a little patch. Then you're already set up. You don't even have to set up an account to join a meeting. Just join. And then it'll say,
click on the link and you go there. So
right.
It's cool.
It's super easy once you have the app. And so I just saw like more than one comment talking about not being able to join Zoom meetings. So I hope that you'll be able to join. It'll be, again, we're doing it more than this time. There'll be more times that Guardian and I do these channel things, but this particular week, being that it is so awesome energy with this Lionsgate and everything, this is just the most awesome time to do it. And they're a Syrian group, and that's connected with what Lionsgate is, because the Syrian sun.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you could give to assist somebody in what to do when they're in this lower, feeling like they're lower energy, lower frequency, just wanting to go, or whatever it is that's coming through for Lionsgate kind of?
Yeah, like I always recommend like putting some time aside for yourself, like even if just like 5 minutes, to like make sure that you do each day something that really makes you happy or brings you joy.
Okay.
And the more you can do it, the better. But that will like really like start to like pull you back from that very low point of like just doing all day long something that you don't enjoy doing, or you don't like where you live, where you work, or your family, or whatever. Just like put some time aside for yourself as much as you can, and like do things that like recharge you, to like gather some strength, and so you can like move forward to more high vibrational ways of being. And also, yeah, during the meantime, you can do the transmutational meditations to like transform the density and crap that is like accumulating in your system, so you can become lighter and like move through those difficult phases much more easily.
Yeah. And
And
if
that
there's
will also reflect in your outside world as well. So if you're high vibrational, that will have its effect on your surrounding. Just as Donna said, like as within, so without.
right, and there's any like method that you've been considering trying out of meditation, or like the sensory deprivation stuff has come back into people's conversation circles again. If there's something like that that you've been, wanting to try, like this is definitely a time to experiment or to experience, these different things, and like Christina says here, why are some people very energized and aligned during this time while others are struggling? And the difference, I would say, is understanding what we're doing, understanding where we are, I guess. For me anyway, as soon as I knew, it didn't blindside me. I didn't come out of the sky and hit me upside the head out of the blue. I understood. Um, they used to call it, they were trying to call it seasonal depression, but they were confused that seasonal depression would hit the beginning of August, and like it just didn't make any sense seasonally speaking. Um, and then as soon as I understood what Lionsgate was, is that all of the energy of healing is present for me right at this now window. And so all the stuff that can be healed is showing itself. And sometimes it feels like popcorn, or a room full of like 87 toddlers that are all hungry. Like it just pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. Everybody's saying pick me until you pick somebody to heal something, come. And then we begin to allow ourselves to look at it. And, energy in motion is what emotion means. Emotion, energy in motion. Emotions aren't meant for us to covet, to hold, to go, that's mine now. I'm going to hold on to that forever. It's meant to make you aware of something and then to go. It doesn't stop. That's meant to stop. And a lot of us have been taught to hold on to those things so tightly that we don't get to fully embrace the moments that we're actually in. And so I learned over time that these emotion bodies are like consciousnesses. They're separate from us in some way. And so understanding that helped to make it so now when the energy comes in, I feel energized now. When before they would do like a suicide watch, before it was, oh no, she hasn't answered her phone. And then, on Lionsgate, you don't want to be dealing with everybody calling you. But if I didn't, they would assume that I was like up to no good. And so, then they're calling the cops. That was happening in my life because and so I've learned to look at these things as they come and then understand them as separate from me and let them go. And to not judge. Archangel Michael says that using judgment is what holds a thing in place. That's deciding a thing about a thing in judgment. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it blue? Is it red? Is it hot? Is it cold? Those are things that are deciding a thing about a thing. So if we can release any kind of need to understand it and to just let it be, to let it go so we can do the next thing, that's what I've been guided to do. And that's what I've learned to do, to make it so it's actually a ride. What about you, Guardian? Do you have any comment about this question?
Yeah, like it's a very good question. I also, Christina said that does it have something to do with our astrological chart?
Where's that?
And also, Adriana just posted, please send me love and healing light. Thank you. So, sending you much love and healing.
Yes.
May you be well. And yes, like going back to the astrological chart, yeah, like before you posted that, my first, I don't know, like idea was maybe it also depends on like our physical body as well, like how our system is like geared and what shape are you in. So like if you're like struggling with something like a sickness or misalignment or something, like these times can become more difficult. Like if you have some kind of chronic sickness, or it may get amplified because your body is struggling with it anyways. And like during these amplified times, it can become stronger and more intense as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like And also, like, I think it very much depends on like how much do you take care of yourself, and like how much, like self care, or how you want to call it. Yeah, like how much attention and focus are you putting on yourself of like you being okay physically and mentally.
Mhm.
Because like if you're able to do that, then these more amplified times don't have to be that difficult. Like it doesn't mean that it won't be challenging, it just could be an easier ride basically.
Right. That's a really good point. And having to do also
Yeah,
with
like
your
I forget my other point, sorry for cutting you off. Yes. Yeah, like I think like one of the best things is like being very much present and like self-aware, and just like I don't know, like getting a feeling for it when like these times are coming in. When you like get up during the morning or during the day, you feel like, oh, like it's happening again. Like we're going into those phases, and I'm like not functioning at 100%. Like I can't focus. I'm disoriented, or I'm just not at 100% for some reason. And it may be because of these things as well. And I think like recognize that and just like slow down a bit. Like don't try to do the same things that you would have done otherwise. Like
right.
try to like slow down and like be a bit more mindful of what you want to do and achieve that day or in that week. Depends on how much it takes, basically.
And to understand your priorities are often a list that's beyond what needs to occur right now. Like my priority didn't include doing dishes last night. That's why I'm drinking from the plastic cup, and it's okay. It's okay to be in that place sometimes, and just to take care of yourself, to be aware of your own energy. And then the astrological chart thing, and just the add to what Guardian already said, to respond to the Christina's question here, is also proximity. I've noticed very much. Just I think that you mentioned it. At least you touched on it. Is that those around us, like it's going to be really. Though you love your wife dearly, it's really going to be awesome. You're going to have a day by yourself. Like because being in proximity of others' energy will definitely interact and it changes your experience. So if you can also find yourself in a less social world, it really does help. Like for instance, Lionsgate is not a time I'm going to go to a fair. I'm not going to go to a large group of people right now. Like that's just not what I choose to do. And along with the chart thing, I have Leo rising, and so definitely am noticing all of that kind of, because we have a few placements with Leo that's going on. We're in Leo season, and so there's a lot of things that um, are so looking at your chart and seeing what you have in there that has to do with, like Sherry just said, Mercury is retro, plus multiple planets in Virgo. Mercury is the ruler. So if looking at anything that you have that has Virgo placements, I know that I'm a Virgo North Node. I have other Virgo placements. We're all going to notice these things, is the point. Like, so if you can see where it's at, maybe it can help you understand. So I would encourage you to go check out your birth, your natal chart, and get an idea a little bit more about what's going on for you in a private, personal way during Lionsgate or anything that's going on. My general rule of thumb is I need a break. I'll say that. It doesn't matter what it is going on. I don't have to be working. I need a break means I need to get away from everybody. So it has nothing to do with
Leave
anybody
me alone.
personal. What was that,
Yeah, it's
Guardian?
like, I love you, but leave me alone. Okay. Don't talk to me.
Right. You almost want to go la 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 la. And it's a recharging. It's a recharging station that we go to do this. So, um, yeah, that was a really good question. Do you have any? I don't know how long you have today, Guardian, because we're doing this again tomorrow. Do you have anything else you want to like to add, or do you
Well,
want
I
to?
don't have much, but we can still talk for like 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
something interesting comes up.
Well, I can say there is a lot of stuff that's not on this topic at all that I've been like trying to not bring up because there's so much. Yeah, I didn't want to dissuade the conversation, but there is a lot going on the global scale right now, you know, and we're getting to see the breakdown of a lot of systems that have been, kind of in our way or not in our way, but it's just like was keeping us in like the staging center. And so I'm really excited. And I wanted to bring this up mostly because I think that there are most of what I know that's going on the world stage is because people have sent it to me in a panic. And I'm not panicked at all. I'm excited. What about you, Guardian?
Yeah, like we've been waiting for this for God knows how long. So, yeah, like also like for people who are panicking, it's like I don't know like how to exactly describe it, but like things are falling apart, but at the same time, like something far more beneficial is like rising at the same time, which will take its place. So don't panic, like all this shit has been planned.
Right.
Like, and this, I think like this has been in the works for a very, very long time. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, like in some, I know, like I think I also like channeled it like a few years ago, like what's happening now, like has been planned before the flood. So it's
Before the
been a
flood.
long time before the flood, yeah. So the flood was part of the plan too.
Right. That was like one of
We're
the
also
earlier
flooded right
steps.
now by fire, so we're flooded by the sun. So
Right.
transforming the world.
And we brought up Moo. We brought up Whale. Moo, the story of Moo, the other side of the story of the Rainbow Tribe, the Rainbow Warriors. You guys know the story, right? Like the white calf buffalo woman story about, this the Lakota um, prophecies, where you get to see what's occurring on the planet's planetary scale, and everyone come true, has happened. Of course, the snake made of steel snaking its way across the planet was when they first made the railroad. That people often misinterpret that one. That was the trains. But the one that we're in now, it's with Moo, or it's with Whale. It talks about, then the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Lumeria, shall rise again. This is Well who tells us this story. The swimming library, the record keeper, and so as the sun seems to be misbehaving, we understand that part of the other side of the steps that we've been waiting for this to fully anchor in is that, you know, it's been happening. The focus, if you look at the solar flares, they're almost always just south of Alaska in the Pacific Ocean. And where they're hitting, knowing that the previous impact of energy that they're talking about that had occurred was, closer to the Gulf of Mexico, you know. So it's very fascinating to see um, that there is just so much that is already in alignment that's been prophesized for this now time that we're in.
Yeah, like also the apocalypse means that things that were hidden will come to the surface. So,
Yeah.
and also like yeah, like the raising of Atlantis was prophesized or Mu or whatever. And I think like it is like rising in our beings rather, like we hold those memories and information inside of us, and like we're receiving the activations, or I don't know, like getting at the point in our evolution where we're able to like access that type of information, or at least that's what I'm experiencing. Like many memories and gifts and stuff are coming back from those lifetimes, and like they can live in the now as well. Or it can be a metaphor for America, like basically America's new Atlantis. So I don't know. We will see.
I agree with you. It's not a physical place. It's a way. It's a state
Yeah.
of mind. It's like saying Western culture. Hey, it's 111.
Here
Or
it's
like
9/11. So
ooh, Ooh.
I've been seeing a lot of 9/11s lately, so
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms. But there's a lot of people have been guardian. This is a conversation I've had with a lot of individuals the past few days. It's awareness. It's coming back into our awareness, for
Mhm.
and to be seen and compared to the Tower of Babylon for some reason. So that's going to be really interesting to figure that one out. That's the thing is I just want to, I find it entertaining. I find knowledge, learning, discovering. I find this entertaining. I enjoy this. And I've found for me in my own journey that the past couple of days, or I mean, past couple of months, it's been about not enjoying the journey of the story, but enjoying the moments and not letting the story come into being. And so the person who loves to learn is being guided to not learn right now in that way. And it's hard. I look forward to that. I like to hear about the weird stories. I like when the past lifetimes come in because then you can like find out what life was like back then and be like, wow, it's so cool. And I'm being guided right now to just keep letting it slide by. Don't focus on it. You're entertained, I get it, but not right now. And like,
no, there's so much of it. Like at least in my experience, there's just so many things happening on so many levels. It's like it's difficult to focus on something.
yeah, almost impossible.
And it can also be very tiring too if you're like trying to like juggle different things at the same time and like trying to pay attention to everything that is happening. And yeah, like you have to like realize to like find like I don't know like your 0 point when you just like sit down and okay, I'm just going to enjoy this moment and like sit down and like maybe drink a cup of coffee and like whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, just let yourself be, man. Just let yourself, it's like for tomorrow. Just let yourself be. If you don't, if you can't come to do anything, I don't think that everybody's going to be called to do it. Do something. I mean, but meaning connecting and doing these different, like I know there's probably some workshops probably opening up tomorrow. That's usually the case of people that are in the spiritual teaching community and stuff like that. There's what we're doing. But if you don't, take the time to yourself. If you can go into nature, clean water, pure water, and barefoot in the dirt, the sand, the grass, as much as you feel like you want to do, and meditate. Like I've been finding that I want to go outside and meditate standing. It's the most interesting thing. But the flow of the energy through the soles of your feet is a different kind of meditation, and
Yeah, I
so
did that too in a period too.
yeah,
But yeah, like the deeper you go, the more you can like wobble. Like
yeah,
it's not
that's true.
kind of distracting.
Yeah, if you're unsteady on your feet, it's not the best to close your eyes while standing.
No. It didn't work for me, so yeah.
But if you are able to and would like to join, again, Guardian and I are doing well. I'm like moderating. I guess you call me the host. Um, this gathering that Guardians so lovingly is providing for free of charge tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific, or excuse me, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Time. That's 8 p.m. your time, I think, and that would be 6 p.m. UK,
Yeah.
at 7 p.m. Netherlands. If you are interested, you'll find the link. I'm just saying it again in case you missed it before the beginning of this conversation. You'll find the links in the community section of my YouTube channel, Guardian's YouTube channel, Facebook. I have it on Facebook. I also have it on Telegram. If you're not part of our Telegram group and you want to find a way to get there, there's a link in the description of this video. I'm also grabbing Guardian right here and showing it up here. This is what he looks like, Jay Zoltan, on YouTube. If you want to find him. I think I probably have it linked in the description, but if I don't, I would highly encourage you to check his stuff out. Just a couple of days ago, he did a really awesome violet flame meditation that he was talking about earlier. It's free, it's on YouTube, and you can grab that and do that. Um, Also, tomorrow evening, my time, so it would be 5 hours and 15 minutes from now, I am doing a group meditation. So if anyone's interested in joining that, that's going to be for the collective and for the individual. I don't know exactly what that is, though. I tend to always, my group meditations are led through a channeling state. So I thank you, Guardian. I've not ever been that aware exactly of what we're going to do. I just have an idea, kind of.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like while you're in this state, then like interesting new directions can appear, and yeah, yeah, but
Right.
that's cool. Like your higher self is guiding the meditation.
Yeah. It is awesome. And it's a wild ride. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow. And is there anything else you'd like to add to that? And before we get going, Guardian?
No, I think you addressed everything beautifully. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much for joining us on this important day. Like that's a big deal to me. I mean, everybody, I would say, notice Lionsgate first, and Guardian was the one that showed me what to do with that energy, and that was, you know, uh, has changed the way that I interact with the energy around me as it comes in, you know, and so I just want to say thank you, Guardian, to your service to me and to all. And so thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you very much. I'm also very grateful that we could talk. It felt like months, I think.
I know I missed you.
But I think we talked like just maybe a month ago or so, but it felt so long. Like so many things happened since then. So,
Yeah.
wow. I'm very happy that we were able to interact and also share a lot of things with people. So, sending lots of love to everyone from Transylvania.
Thank you all. You got this. You're not alone.